Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football. We're here for Carabao Cup quarter-final action. It's Chelsea against Newcastle in what actually may well have been misunderstood, underrated. It's a big game. It's a big game, especially when you look at the Premier League at the moment. Chelsea and Newcastle nowhere near top four, nowhere near European football, and neither are in Europe anymore, and it's not even Christmas. So there definitely is a battle to be had here at the Bridge. And not the first time there's been a great battle at the Bridge, by the way. I'll let you know about that later. Stamford Bridge battle, Norway against England, or Vikings against King Harold. What a battle that was. But this is Newcastle from the north against Chelsea from the south at Stamford Bridge. And that's what you get on here. History lessons, biology. Well, agony bridge. I can give you some advice on all that sort of stuff. But also science and nature as well. Very, 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 very good about battles between animals and who would win. But battles between football clubs and who will win. Newcastle against Chelsea for a place in the Carabao semi-final where both of these clubs would absolutely love to win this game. Of that, there is no doubt. Absolutely none. Both of these clubs would love to win this game because both of these clubs would love to win this cup. We cannot dismiss it. At the end of the day, there has been many people who many clubs over the last few years that have taken this cup very, very seriously. Manchester United won it last year. And of course, well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the last few winners of this tournament, because you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at how many people have won it over the years. I can't even see. They've not given a list. Why have they not given a list of winners? Oh, here they have. So the last few winners: Manchester United in 2023, Liverpool in 2022, Man City won it for the previous 4 years, Man United won it in 2017, Man City in 2016, Chelsea in 2015, Man City in 2014. The last club to win this tournament outside of the traditional top 4 or 6 was Swansea City in 2013. In fact, only Swansea City and Birmingham City have won this trophy outside of the top, traditional top 4 since 2008. So look, it's taken seriously is what I'm trying to say, because it's a trophy at the end of the day, and that's what it's all about. You can see the team news going around the screen on your right-hand side. You can also see VAR crisis, which is completely wrong and completely my fault. I would have to own that. Oh, God. It's not. He shouldn't say that. Seriously, though, whoever's left that up on there, you're fired. In fact, it was me, so we'll let it go. But no, it should say live watch-along, which is what it's about to say. Remember, our stats carousel is sponsored by OneFootball, by the way. Get all your latest breaking football news for free, and transfer news now, updates on the OneFootball app. You can download it on Apple, Android for free. You also get all your stats in relation to the game and individual stats. I mean, we got the team stats, but you can get individual stats on there. Download it for free with OneFootball. But as the team news goes around the screen, Everton are 8 minutes into their game against Fulham in the other quarter-final, 0-0 there. And Port Vale are 7 minutes into their game against Middlesbrough, 0-0 there. But Chelsea against Newcastle is an 8 o'clock kickoff. And there has been changes, some changes, but Chelsea have still got quite a strong side. In fact, I think Chelsea are taking this very seriously. Petrovic in goal, Disasi, Thiago Silva, Badiashile, Colwill, Gallagher, Casido and Enzo, Palmer, Sterling and Jackson. I mean, that's basically their strongest team, Chelsea, apart from the change in goal. Newcastle still, again, gone quite strong. I mean, this is basically Chelsea against Newcastle, first team against first team. I've got to say, Dubravka, Kraft, Lascelles, Botman, Livramento, Longstaff, Gomeres and Miley, and Almiron, Wilson and Gordon. They have taken it very, very seriously, both of these sides. Two very strong teams that might have surprised some, but both teams going very, very strong. And I think that, for us as the viewer, makes it even better. Both first teams out, and let's go. Get your comments in. Who'd win between a squirrel and a cat? I tell you what, that is absolutely fantastic. I don't normally get excited about animal combat, But a cat against a squirrel. You know what? I think a cat. Surely a cat. Yeah, I think a cat would demolish a squirrel. Yeah, I don't even know why. Surely, I'm not talking about a tiger. I'm talking about, a domestic feline. Surely the chat go with the cat. Who do you think is going to win in this game, Mark? Well, I think we're in for a cracker, actually. Newcastle against Chelsea. I think we're in for a cracker. I think I'd go with Chelsea at home. But the fact that both teams are taking it seriously, I think, is great. Isaac's not starting for Newcastle, and he's not on the bench either. I don't know whether that means he's injured again or he's being rested. Joel Linton and Shaw went off, of course, for Newcastle at the weekend. Dan Burn is back on the bench. And of course, big shout out to Botman. We'd forgotten about that. Botman's back for Newcastle. Don't know whether he was back at the weekend. I didn't watch Newcastle at the weekend, but there you go. Thoughts on Man City winning today, says Ajit. If you hadn't told me Man City had won today, I wouldn't have a fucking clue what you're on about, mates. I presume they won in the No One Gives a Shit Cup and are into the final in the No One Gives a Shit Cup. No one gives a shit about that tournament. Man United have won it. I think Chelsea have won it. I think Liverpool have won it. Only the fans of the club that play in that tournament care about it. It's some World Cup club, and it means nothing. I remember Man United playing in it. It's a waste of time. No one gives a shit. But it's true. Okay, I need to change that. Let's get ready to rumble. Get your questions in as per usual. I'm open to Agony Bridge. Can help you out with any Christmas problems that you might be having. Erecting your tree or whatever like that. And also, it's awful competition. They're revamping it completely in 2025. Well, this is very relevant to That's Football. Hopefully, you've been listening to Goldbridge Saves Football, our new episode today, our Christmas episode today. But Will was telling me on the podcast, we were talking about it in Pratt of the Week, that the World Club, there's going to be a World Club Cup in 2025 in America, the year before the World Cup. And they're trying to rebadge this tournament as an exciting World Club Cup in the summer, right? Man United and Liverpool and Arsenal will not play in it. They've already picked the two teams based on the fact that they won the Champions League over the last few years. Chelsea and Man City are going to represent England in the 2025 World Club Cup. So it's not happening for 2 years, and we already know they're going to put two clubs in it that no one really wants to bloody watch. Chelsea probably a little bit, but no one wants to watch. If you're going to do a World Club Cup, at least put decent teams in that people want to watch. Of course, the argument will be, well, Man City and Chelsea are good teams, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Boring. Boring, boring, boring. Boring, boring, boring. Renate is... Oh, sorry, I think I'm getting involved in your conversation, mods there. As it stands, Man City, even though they are fourth, wouldn't qualify for the Champions League due to Girona being first in the La Liga. Let's hope it stays that way, says Dane. Yeah, they're going to change that rule, aren't they? Because Man United have got that with the Nice situation. Offside here for Chelsea. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win today. I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. Let me know what you think in the chat. No VAR tonight as well. As I understand it, no VAR in the Carabao Cup. Thanks for your super chats tonight already. Mark, Jack's in early with the start bench sell. We like those. Mark, start bench sell. Who will be top at Christmas? Part of the week or quiz? Well, this is very Goldbridge Saves Football podcast. These are 3 sections that we have. Well, I'll have to sell who will be top at Christmas because after next week, it's a dead section. There's no point talking about it in January. So it's Pratt of the Week and quiz to start or bench. I've got to bench quiz as much as I like quiz, and it was a great quiz this week. Pratt of the Week has to stay. It's my favourite section, and it's got the jingle. Check out the podcast, by the way. Goldbridge Saves Football. It's on Spotify. Give it a listen or a download now. It's a movement. It's a movement in sport, and you can be part of it. We're having a great time on the podcast, and if you're not aware of it, give it a listen. Loads of episodes on there as well, and it comes out on a Friday at 7 for a weekend preview, and on a Tuesday for a more deep dive into the league. What's going on here? That's interesting. Foul on Anthony Gordon there from behind. They keep showing it, but there is no VAR, so it will only be a yellow card. I don't think he even got a yellow card. Middlesbrough are beating Port Vale, by the way. Just scored. Chelsea on the attack, and Newcastle need to switch on a little bit here. I think they've got a very good chance of winning. Do you prefer London or Birmingham as a city, says Raheem? I love London. I'd definitely say London. London to me has always been a city of, you feel like you're in a capital city there. I do like London. I've just dropped the link for the podcast. I've pinned it in the live chat. So if you want to click that and give it a download for later, that'd be great. Great question here from Miz. Says, what are your thoughts on Forest sacking Cooper? This is a great question. We're going to do a poll on this, actually. This could be the first poll of the night. It's a good job that was pulled down there because my pyjamas were a bit low. You might have got a bit of a builder's bum. But before we get a bit of that, Gordon shoots, deflects over the bar. Evening, Mark. Hope you're well. Just wanted to say I really enjoyed the last podcast episode, says Kieran. Thanks for supporting it. The Ultras, we call you. I did a Christmas show in Manchester, actually, on Monday, and people were shouting Ultras, which means they listen to the podcast. Let's do a poll, though. Were Forest right to sack Cooper? So, he's been sacked, Steve Cooper, by Forest, and he'll be replaced by Nuno, the former Spurs and Wolves coach. It's interesting. I mean, from what I understand, Cooper was very, very popular amongst the Forest fan base, which surprises me. That shows you what sort of an owner you've got at that football club when they defy the fans. Because normally it's the fans who sack a manager. And it's the owners who defy the fans and keep them longer than maybe they should. In this case, the owner has decided to ignore the fans and sack the manager. I think that's terrible in football, by the way. I've just got to say straight away, imagine if Ten Hag got sacked tomorrow. Most Man United fans don't want him to be sacked. Imagine if Pochettino got sacked tomorrow. Most Chelsea fans don't want him to get sacked. So I'm not a fan of owners just doing what they bloody well like. People will say, well, the owners, they can do what they like, but there's tens of thousands of people who turn up and pay their fucking wages. So I don't like it, the fact that a manager gets sacked when the fans aren't really wanting it. So that's point one. Point two is, if you're going to sack Cooper, why are you not doing what Brighton do? Why are you not doing what Bournemouth have done? Like, there are so many expansive, exciting coaches out there. If you're going to sack Cooper, at least go and get a coach that wants to play expansive football. Nuno's football is dire. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, I'd be worried. I'd be worried about Nuno going into that club because he's so negative. We saw him at Wolves. They were boring. They were good at keeping clean sheets, but they were shit at scoring. And same situation at Spurs. So I don't really understand why you sack a manager to bring in a boring manager. If they'd sacked Cooper and brought in somebody like, I don't know, the Sporting Lisbon coach or something like that, which might have been out of their range of doing that. But to bring in Nuno, I think it's massively uninspiring. And I'll tell you now, it will be a very boring next few years. They'll probably survive, but the football will be shit. Mark, any idea what date New Year's Day is this year, says Daryl? Ask Will. Apparently it's the 1st of January this year. Did you see the goalkeeper in Brazil that got a red card and then hid under a tarpaulin behind the goal to watch the game instead of hitting the showers, says Jack. No, I didn't! Oh my God! What a shot by Conor Gallagher. He's hit the bar there. I don't know whether it deflected, but it was very nearly 1-0. It had dip on it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. He's on the edge of the box. Comes to him. Gets it out of his feet. No, it's just a lovely shot. Dipping. Lovely technique. Side place volley. Side foot volley. Dip, dip, dip. It's the bar. Very close. Very close. Lovely technique as well from Conor Gallagher. Min says they should use these Carabao Cup games to analyse the effectiveness of VAR. And Parker says, I appreciate the extra effort recently to read all the super chats. No worries, Parker. It's easy for me to do actually now because I found something that I never knew existed when I'm live, where it lists off all the super chats so they don't get lost amongst there. So Dean says, I hope you and the family have a great Christmas. Thank you, Dean, and you too. Miz, we've done that. Liverpool /Newcastle Newcastle to win is duo, you think? Says Valentine. Yeah, well, we're doing Liverpool tomorrow night, aren't we? Look, everyone's going to take it serious. They're all going to take it very seriously. Liverpool West Ham tomorrow. The Carabao Cup gets dismissed, but I think it's a tournament that everybody takes. Hannah says, who do you think will be top at Christmas? Well, we'll know. We're doing the Who'll Be Top at Christmas derby on Saturday, christened by the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast. Like, everyone else is going to nick this. Sky, TNT, TalkSport, they're all going to nick this, but you know where you heard it first. Who'll be top at Christmas, that is all. 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 So, yeah, the Who'll Be Top at Christmas derby takes place on Saturday at 5:30. We'll be live with a watch-along right here. It'll be Liverpool against Arsenal, and that will decide who's top at Christmas. Because it still could be Villa if they draw, but that game will decide it. Who do I think will be top? Oh, I tell you what. Who do I think will be top? I'm still going to go with Liverpool. That was my prediction, so I'm going to go with that. Flores official says, you've talked about how Chelsea and Arsenal don't have a good striker, but here's an either or for you. Nketiah or Nicholas Jackson. I'm going to do that because that's a super chat as well. I'm going to do that for the chat. We'll definitely do that. Who would you like to be top at Christmas? Villa. I think it'd be lovely. Be great. And it'll piss Will off because he supports Blues. Were Forest right to sack Cooper? 65% of you say no. This is modern football for you, though. Owners thinking they know better than the fans. I don't like it. But there you go. Right, we'll do another either or for you here. Either or. Our first either or of the evening. First either or of the evening. And I have got at half time an either or tournament, which we haven't done for ages, where we start off with 8 and we go all the way through to the final. So 4 quarterfinals, semi-final and a final. Get ready for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. But Jackson or Nketiah? Get your votes in. Who is better? Who do you think is better? Are you going to do Palace Brighton, Mark? Nah, I'm not interested in that. It's Christmas, mate. I'd rather watch Jingle All the Way, and I hate it. What's your worst Christmas film, actually? Out of all the traditional ones, what's your worst Christmas film that you just don't like? Liverpool versus Newcastle final is my prediction, says Valentine. Just Keeban says, when are you going to wear the Zidane top, Mark? When my agent gives it me, because I was in London and I gave the bag to him and he was meant to bring it up to Manchester last week and he hasn't. So, and he's had a good Christmas present. And it's not going to be the fucking Zidane top. So I need to get it back. Home Alone 2 is a bit boring. I quite like Home Alone 2. That was from Miz. I might do Villa Sheffield United, but it's a very obvious game, isn't it? What's going to happen? But I might do Villa Sheffield United on Friday. Oscar says he never got on with the Polar Express. Miracle on 34th Street is awful, says Joe. What do you think of Roy Keane on Van Dijk? Says Cameron. I don't really know. I don't really know. I just think it's all been blown up out of proportion. I mean, it was such a shit game. It seems ridiculous that two legends of each club are arguing with each other about the style of football that was played. I just think everyone needs to move on. I mean, it's not classic Man United against Liverpool. I mean, at the end of the day, I think everyone just needs to ignore them. I don't want to see Roy Keane and Van Dijk carrying on a conversation about one of the shittest games we've ever seen. Liverpool have got bigger fish to fry. Man United are nowhere near them. But I agree with Roy Keane more. Like Riyadh says, I do agree with Roy Keane. I think that ultimately what Man United's supposed to do, a draw at Anfield is a good result most years for United. So just on the sacking of Cooper, Madbro says this happens a lot in Greece. Marianakos, which owns Olympiakos, has bought Forest. Unfortunately for Forest fans, the relationship between fans in Greece with the ownership is a bit more complex. Haven't they got a ban on fans in Greece at the moment? You know, the games are behind closed door or something. Jay Harris says something like 35 players needing another yellow card to get Boxing Day off. Also, Arnie's Christmas movie is terrible. Yeah, that was Jingle All the Way. Borough are 2-0 up as well. Thanks, Matthew Ward. They're beating Port Vale, which you'd expect anyway. But apart from Conor Gallagher hitting the post, not a lot going on in this game at the moment. Chelsea doing more of the running. But as I say, both teams have put strong teams out. Is Nkunku on the bench for Chelsea? I didn't notice him on... Yes, he is. He is on the bench, yes. Well spotted. Gusto's on the bench. Blohan and Nkunku. Mudryk. We may well see Nkunku as well. Yes, we may. Be interesting to see how he does. If you had to predict the exact score for Liverpool-Arsenal, what would it be? Score draw, which puts Villa top. 2-2. Most United fans don't seem to understand that the way we played against Liverpool is the only way we can currently play with our broken team. Yeah, I think that's the trouble, Parker. I was on Talk Sport this morning talking to Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. And, you know, I said it straight. I said at the end of the day, all these people moaning about it, what do they expect us to do? It's the reality of the situation. We're not very good. Liverpool are. You're at Anfield. You go there. You park the bus. You defend with your lives and you hope you get something, and we did. All these Liverpool fans moaning about how we played, you're better than us. We're not going to come and open up. It was like Burnley going to Anfield. We just have to do what we do. We're not very good. Here's Newcastle on the break with Callum Wilson. He's got 3 players around him. He's going nowhere. He's not going to run through. Oh, he has. And he scored. Well, I never. It's 1-0 to Newcastle. It's cumbersome. It's mistakes at the back. Is it Thiago Silva again? Is it Badiashile? It's a mistake at the back. And I tell you, it's Badiashile. It's Badiashile. It's another terrible, terrible mistake by Chelsea at the back. What a howler. Again. Newcastle lead. And it's their first real chance of the game. Ball goes, it's a misplaced pass. And then Callum Wilson, he's got 3 Chelsea players around him. He sort of bundles his way through, Ryan Giggs-esque. And then it's an easy finish on a one-on-one. Badiashile just gets it stuck under his feet. But, I mean, this is terrible defending by Chelsea. Callum Wilson's running against 3 Chelsea players, and they just all make a right mess of it. And it's 1-0. Oh, what an error that is. And Callum Wilson makes it 1-0 to Newcastle here. Well, it makes the game very interesting now because I think Newcastle were, you know, slow out of the traps in this game, and Chelsea have been the better side, but they're losing 1-0. Hi Mark, I plan on using my triple captain this game week on FPL. Can you give me 3 options? I will surely captain one of your picks. I will help you with that. Ollie Watkins against Sheffield United. He might be a good pick. Luton are playing Newcastle, so depends. It's hard with Newcastle because you don't know whether they're going to play Callum Wilson or Isaac. I think Ollie Watkins is a good shout. Liverpool, Arsenal, I don't think there'll be many goals in that. Tottenham, Everton could be quite tight as well. Yeah, I think Ollie Watkins is the pick this week for me. Hi, thank you very much for your super chat, the Superfly. Superfly. If you know, you know. Legit, some of the worst defending I've seen, says Bronzy. Kieran says, hi Mark, just curious, why don't you think Arsenal will be top at Christmas and almost like we're being written off for the game on the 23rd? No, I don't think you're being written off, Kieran. Arsenal have been very resolute this season and Liverpool couldn't find the back of the net against United. It's at Anfield. It's at Anfield. And I just think if it was at the Emirates, I'd say Arsenal will be top at Christmas. I'm just giving Liverpool the advantage because they're at home. I actually think it will be a draw. Red Army says, Liverpool finished second a few times. All of a sudden, their players and fans become big-headed. Truth is, they haven't been relevant since the 80s. There's a start of a 10. I'm sure that's going to kick off. Jackson got 35% of the vote, and Nketiah got 65% of the vote. It's a busy chat tonight. We've got either-ors. We've got start, bench, sells. Thanks for the super chats that have come in as well. Please do subscribe to the channel. We are the community for everybody, and we're closing in on 1.8 million. No, we're not. You cheeky. You big head. We're closing in on 1.08 million. We're 200 away from 77,000. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. You're very, very welcome. I need to tell you what games we're going to be doing over Christmas at some point as well. Because it's a very hectic time. And I won't be as available as I normally am because of family commitments. Oh, Gordon could have been in there. He got it stuck under his feet. Newcastle are counter-attacking very well at the moment. We're talking who would win in a fight between a squirrel and a cat. No, we've done that one. We've done that one. Here's something for you in the chat. I'll read some of these out while we're watching the game. If you could spend Christmas with any celebrity, who would you spend it with? What would you buy them? Here comes Chelsea's downfall, says Forky. Start, bench, sell. Alphonso Davies, Luke Shaw, Andy Robertson. That's a cracker, Riley. You should have done a super chat for it. It was that good. Start, bench, sell. Alphonso Davies, Luke Shaw, Andrew Robertson. I think Alphonso Davies is a little bit overrated. I just think he's one of those players that everyone thinks is one of the best left backs in the world. He's good. I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's as good as his reputation. So I would sell him. Between Andy Robertson and Luke Shaw, if I'm being completely honest, for consistency, Andy Robertson's the better one. I think Luke Shaw's brilliant, but I don't think he's as consistent as Andy Robertson. So I'd bench Luke Shaw and I'd start Andy Robertson. But I would sell Alphonso Davies. I don't think he's all that. I think he's one of those players that are just reputationally a little bit enhanced than what they actually are. Benny says he'd spend Christmas with Whoopi Goldberg and get her some lube. You know she's might even be dead. That's disgusting. Whoopi Goldberg was in Ghost. She's 68. Oh, she's younger than I thought. She's 68. Poor old Whoopi. Alex says he'd spend Christmas with me and buy me some sunglasses. Shot by Palmer there. Keeper saves it. Who would I spend it with? I think if I could spend Christmas with a celebrity, I don't want it to be a female because I'm very happily married. So it's got to be a male, and not in that way. I think I'd spend Christmas with Gary Neville, and I'd buy him a lovely bottle of scotch, and we'd just watch comedy all day with a lovely turkey dinner, and we'd watch classic Only Fools and Horses, Christmas special of The Office, share the bottle of whiskey, and realise, you know what, we're not that dissimilar after all. Whoopi Goldberg is not dead. It's official, she is not dead. I think her career is, but she's not. She's not dead. Brian Gallagher says, I'd spend Christmas with a guy called Mark Goldbridge and I'd get him a voucher for facial Botox. Hey, mate, I don't need it. I'm on my old athletic greens now. If you listen to the podcast today, get your discount code on the podcast. It's fantastic stuff. It's really made a massive difference for me. Start, bench, sell, says Liam G. Zidane, Ronaldinho and Cruyff. Well, it's very unfair because I didn't watch Cruyff. I find it very difficult, Liam. So I would have to sell Cruyff based on the fact that I never really watched him play. I can't put Cruyff in just because... That's what the modern hipster does. You know, they talk about players they never fucking watched. The amount of people who are in their early 20s who talk to you about fucking players that they would have been up their mum's chuff when they were playing. I'm not going to be that. I didn't watch Cruyff, so I can't put him in there. So I'd sell Cruyff. I would bench Ronaldinho and I would start Zidane. And if you watch my video with Ellis Patton away days, you'll have saw what a beautiful kit I got from the classic football shirts. Who's the right back for Newcastle? He looks good, says Willie. The right back for Newcastle tonight is... Oh, I forget what his bloody name is. I know what it is. It's not Shah because he's injured. What's his bloody name? I can't speak. Kraft. Livramento's playing at left back. Livramento's good. Brian Gallagher says, start, bench, sell, YouTube, Netflix and Pornhub. Well, I've got to start YouTube because that's where we are now. Obviously, I don't know what Pornhub is, so I'd sell that and I would bench Netflix. It's the easy answer, Brian, that's very easy. I'm just going to end the poll for Nketiah and Jackson. Pep Guardiola, 4 injuries and he can't get Man City to play football his way. Now think about Eric Ten Hag's 23 plus injuries at Man United, says Mrs. Stone. Food for thought. Boy says, I'd have Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock, to spend Christmas with me. I'd buy him a Hurl and Muller and Galway jersey that would put hurling on the map worldwide and have Rock versus The Rock, Dermot O'Sullivan. He's thought it through. We're talking what celebrity you'd spend Christmas with and what you would buy them. Andrew Fletcher makes a good point. If you're Eddie Howe, do you focus on the league or either cups now that you're out of the Champions League? You focus on the league, Andrew. But you know what? I don't know whether Newcastle fans agree with me here. If I'm Eddie Howe, I'm focusing on everything I bloody well can for the next 3 games because their start to the year is incredible, incredibly difficult. And therefore, you've got to try and pick up as many points as you can. So Newcastle are obviously nowhere near top 4 at the moment, just like Manchester United. Their next couple of... Well, they've got Luton at the weekend, and then they've got Forest on Boxing Day. So they need to win both those games. And then they've got New Year's Day, which we'll do as a watch-along, Liverpool, Newcastle. Then they've got Man City, and then they've got Aston Villa in January. So they've got a very, very hard January. And like a lot of people have, going down the gym. What's that all about? So, but I think they can bring players in January. So if I was Newcastle, I'd play for everything. Would you rather never win the treble or never sold Ronaldo? I'm not giving up the treble, Durant. That's just silly. Here's Sterling into the box. Oh, went for the bottom corner with a slide pass, just wide. Jared says, I did a modelling job for classic football shirts and they said they'd give me a shirt as a thank you. Still waiting on it over a year on, says Jared. Shame on them. No one likes a liar. I'm sure it's a misinterpretation. Would you have done that one from Grant? Paul Mitchell, Ralph and Dan, says Mrs. Stone. That's what she wants. Is that for Chris? Is that a threesome at Christmas, Mrs. Stone? I mean, I think Mrs. Stone is talking about director of football, but she could also be talking about what she wants for Christmas and what she's doing. And it sounds like she wants Paul Mitchell, Ralph Rangnick and Dan Ashworth round for Christmas. There is no present. Maybe Mrs. Stone is the present. I don't know what's going on there. Lee Berman says, you're out of food, you've ordered all your sticky toffee pudding and they ask you what you're having with it. Custard, ice cream or just cream. I like a goal for Sterling. No. Yes. What a block. Bloody hell. He's shot from about 6 yards out and Bruno Guimaraes has got his body in the way. Of course there's no VAR, so even if there's any hand it won't matter. But I think he blocked it with his body. That should have been 1-1. Chelsea have been doing all the pressing, but of course Newcastle have a 1-0 lead here at the moment. Lee Berman wanted to ask me what I would put on my sticky toffee pudding. Custard, ice cream, or just normal cream? Well, I will tell you, Lee, and 13,000 people, when I've got sticky toffee pudding and custard and ice cream is the option, you know what I do? Both. I'm a greedy git when it comes to puddings, but I'll have custard and ice cream with the sticky toffee pudding. And I tell you what, the hot and cold, it does work. Curtis says, I'd spend Christmas with Michael Oliver and tie him up. And no, we're not reading that. No, what did he really say? I'd spend Christmas with Michael Oliver and buy him Refereeing for Dummies out of a Poundland bargain bin. And the Boyd 86 says, Newcastle also have a long-awaited derby on January the 6th as well in the FA Cup against Sunderland. They do. They do. They do. Brendan says, I'd spend the Christmas with Mary and Joseph, and I'd give Mary a lie detector to find out who's Jesus' real dad. I think Joseph knew. I think Joseph knew he wasn't the dad. I mean, let's not get all religious here, but wasn't she the Virgin Mary? I mean, she gets away with a lot in that story. Joseph lets her sit on the donkey all the way. I mean, we're back talking about Jack and Rose on that bloody door, on that sinking Titanic again, aren't we? Would you let Mary sit on that bloody donkey when you know she's a virgin and she's heavily pregnant? I've got to give Joseph a lot of credit. He's a very trusting man. Start, bench, sell. Lewis Miley, Mainu or Rico Lewis? I would... I'm starting Mainu. I think he's amazing. I'm benching Lewis Miley and I'm selling Rico Lewis. I'm sorry. It's a City thing. The Sea Fisher. Own goal for Fulham. No, own goal for Everton. It's 1-0 to Fulham. An own goal by Michael Keane. Enzo Fernandez is coming off here for Chelsea, for Broha. And I think this might be a tactical thing. Doesn't look like he's injured. It's a tactical thing. After half an hour, Broha is coming off for Enzo Fernandez. £100 million player. That's tactical, isn't it? This is the Sterling chance. Oh, I think it's Bruno Gomes in the crown jewels. No, it can't do. He gets up and celebrates. If that hits him in the knob and he gets up and celebrates, he's a madman. I think it hits him in the knob and then he gets up and goes. So he's just had the ball blasted in his nuts and he gets up and turns around and goes like that. Balls of steel. Balls of steel. Bruno Gomes there. I outdid myself with the German Shepherd, but here goes. Oh, I love Matt. Can Matt live up to this? Matt, this was such a good comparison last week. He basically said, would you rather fight a polar bear with a German Shepherd and a Stanley knife, or a pair of goggles and a machete against the great white shark? And I was talking about this with family members who aren't interested in football at the weekend, and it generated a conversation for 10 minutes. So can Matt follow it up? He says, would you go against a Komodo dragon with a bowl of acid, or a lion with a piece of steak and a black mamba? Right, I'm going to have to do some searching here. So a black mamba is a highly venomous... Well, I knew it was a snake. It's a highly venomous snake and if it bites you, it's got a 100% fatality rate if you don't get help. There's problems here, Matt. There's trouble here. The snake takes 45 minutes for you to pass out. I mean, a piece of snake and a venomous snake against a lion ain't gonna do much. The lion's gonna eat the steak, eat the snake, and eat me before the venom does anything. So, but would a bowl of acid work on a Komodo dragon? This is tough. This is very, very tough. Nick still talking about last week. A polar bear is going to wipe the floor with you and the dog easily. No, we've already decided, Nick, that I'm taking the chance with the dog. I think I might be in trouble with both of those, Matt. I'm not sure. Acid. Actually, I've made my decision. A piece of steak and a venomous snake against a lion, or a Komodo dragon and acid. I'm going to take the acid and hope I get it in the eyes of the dragon. Karen says they'd run away. You can't run away from a lion. And I think Komodo dragons are quite quick as well. Joshua wants to spend Christmas with Nigel Farage, sat in their pants, drinking John Smith's, putting the world to rights. Lovely stuff, Joshua. Have a stretch, Mark, says Addy. I thought I'd already done that. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. We're 10 minutes away from half-time. Newcastle lead 1-0. Chelsea have had the better of the play. But defensive cock-up is what I would call it. Allowed Newcastle to score a very easy goal for Callum Wilson. Somebody made a great point, and I can't answer it. What happens if it's a draw? Liverpool play West Ham tomorrow. We're doing a watch-along for that. But what happens if it's a draw? Does it go straight to penalties? Go straight to penalties. Thank you very much. Mark, what if you put the venom in the steak, says Corey. It's going to take 45 minutes to knock the lion out. You get bit. If you get bit by one of those snakes, it'll be 45 minutes before you pass out and 6 or 7 hours before you die. I haven't got that time in a head-to-head with a lion. I haven't got 6 or 7 seconds. Start, bench, sell. Jimmy Savile, Philip Schofield or Ralph Harris. Andy, I'm not doing that. You're lucky I even read that out without thinking. Do that one at home. Breakaway for Chelsea here. I think that's offside for Broher. It's a nice finish by Broher, but he is offside. Up the Beaver says it's quicker orally. I mean, just two terrible lines there. Apparently Enzo is ill, says FJO. I've got a great little competition for you in relation to either or coming up at half time. I've just got to get 8 players. I'm trying to think how to, I've got a few ideas of what I want to do, but I was going to do best goalkeeper in the Prem, but there's no point because Alisson will win. It's not worthy. I need to pick a position that's not obvious. I think I found one. I've cleared the game. I've played the game. I've got it. We're ready to go. I just need one more player, which I'll think about in a minute. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football, the place where everybody is welcome and invited. Daily content on here and watch-alongs. I was talking about VAR earlier, and I might actually do that as a weekly show. Do you think I should do that as a weekly show? The VAR review, where I talk about the decisions. Matt says, if you get rid of the Mamba and to the inland tap-in, it takes 2 minutes to kill you or knock you out. Even 2 minutes ain't going to be quick enough. I think Newcastle do need another goal. You're right, Scrim. Jack Pace says, Mark enjoys a Burnley performance at Anfield. Standards on the floor. Mate, look, I don't know what Liverpool fans' problem is, right? You seem to be still crying 2 days later. And I've explained it to you. I don't enjoy what we did on Sunday. But it's the only thing we could do. And the only reason we could do that is because we've been run badly by the Glazers for years. If we opened up, you'd have beat us. So the only thing we can do is park the bus. It's the only thing we can do. So talking about standards being on the floor, you're talking to the converted. We already know. Why do you think we wanted the Glazers to go? United are a shit-run club at the moment, and that's all we can do. Come to Anfield and park the bus. So well done. You've won the moral war of better than us, but we knew that anyway. There's no way you're going to find a Man United fan regretting what we did on Sunday because it's all we could do. You're just frustrated because you didn't score. If you'd have scored 1 goal, that would have been it. Oh, hold on a minute. Almiron. Oh, he should have crossed it first time. Bruno Gomes with the shot. Blocked there. Would you rather tightly hug a cactus while not wearing anything or put a toothpick in between your toenail? Oh, my God. No. No. It's Christmas, Brian Gallagher. It's Christmas. That's barbaric. That is barbaric. Brian, I'm not even going to read that back again. He basically said, would you rather hug a cactus completely naked or stick a toe pick in between your nails and the skin and kick a wall hard? I ain't doing the toe thing. I'm not doing the toe. I'm not. But I've never hugged a cactus. Mate, that's horrible. Both of them are horrible. Like, as Lee Berman says, that's filth. Avram says, I'm happy with the result from the Liverpool game. I bet you are, Avram. I bet you are. I don't even think a draw at home to United is going to be that problematic for Liverpool. I think they're crying about it way too much. Beat Arsenal, you're top at Christmas. You'd have took that in the summer. You're exceeding what your expectations were anyway. 3 minutes to half time, and then we're going to play a game, an either-or quarterfinals, all the way through to the final, and the category I will reveal in a minute. Colwell goes down from a tackle from Wilson. Chelsea, you know what? This is really interesting because Chelsea have had a lot of the ball, but it's the age-old problem for Chelsea, isn't it? They don't score goals. They struggle to put the ball in the back of the net. Callum Wilson again. Is Colwell coming forward? I do find Chelsea amazing, really. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh because I think some of the players they bought are good, but the amount of money they've played to collect what is in essence a load of shit is incredible. Do you have a chance against a Como Dragon? Says Chris. I think your only chance is to run away. Harrison says, start bench sell, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, James May. I'm not a massive fan of... Here we go. Chelsea. Ooh, Conor Gallagher? No. Plenty of bodies in the way for Newcastle. Start bench sell, Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, James May. I would start Clarkson because I like Clarkson's farm. And out of Hammond and May, you can pick. I never really watched Top Gear. I've got to be honest, it wasn't my cup of tea. No VAR. Who's going to hit 25 titles first, City or United, says Jared? Well, it'll be City on their trajectory at the moment. And no VAR makes the game much more enjoyable, says Andre. I've got to agree. And if I'm Sterling into Jackson, trying to get a shot off, stupid. If I'm Poch, I'm putting Sterling on the left in the second half. Livramento is causing him huge problems down that right-hand side, says LTV. Headed away. Mindful says, Chell shit. Harsh, but some might say fair. Not going to win anyway, are they? Sorry, I'm just thinking about the last name in this little tournament we're going to do. Yeah, we'll do that. Mr. B says, mutilated by a lion, stuck in a burning room, or death by rocks. List in order. Mate, I'm not I'm not having this. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a line here because it's just encouraging. It's Christmas. Nobody wants to think about that sort of stuff. I draw the line at the toothpick on the tooth nail. I'm not talking about that. No more. Sorry, Mr. B, but no. The Beast says, Man United were happy to hemorrhage money on renewing, keeping fringe players like Rojo, Bailey, Jones to increase resale value, but sell Casemiro, Varane to save money. It's money management, says The Beast. Thank you very much for your super chat there. Bruno Fernandes or Odegaard for either or, says Kieran Parsons. Well, look, I'm always going to go red tinted glasses there, but I'll do an either or for you. Yellow card here, I think. Start, bench, sell, Pogba, Sancho or Di Maria. That was from Mrs. Stone. I would start Pogba. I would sell Sancho, and I'd bench Sancho, and I would sell Di Maria the snake. And Steve Backshill says, have you tried Bailey's cream, Mark? It's a game changer. I'll tell you what, if you like a bit of alcohol at Christmas, here's a little tipple that's not unknown, but it's very nice. If you like coffee, and at Christmas you just feel like having something that's a little bit more festive and relaxing, put yourself a coffee, put Bailey's Irish cream in. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely. Mrs. Stone has clarified that she wants to bench, start, sell, although the three-way would be interesting between Ranić, Mitchell and Ashworth. Superfly says start, bench, sell Emery, De Zerbi and Eddie Howe. Emery, De Zerbi and Eddie Howe. I think at the moment I would start Emery, and I would. It's tough between. It's tough actually between De Zerbi and Howe. Logically, you probably go Howe, but I do like De Zerbi. Would you rather have the urge to sneeze forever but can't, or have a constant itch forever, says Brian. Mate, there's some real weirdos tonight. Stop torturing yourself and put on a happy Christmas film and have some quality street. Thanks for the super chat, Breezy. Oh, I'm just going to do this quick either or here before we do the tournament at half time. Either or. Either or. Bruno Odegaard. It is half time here. It's 1-0. It's me, Jack. Thank you very much for your super chat. Says, hi, Mark. Love the content. Am I missing something with why there is no VAR? Only a casual viewer, so I'm a bit confused by why there isn't any VAR. It's the Carabao Cup. They don't have VAR, basically. I don't know whether it's because they can't afford it or what, but yeah, they don't have VAR. Try Bailey's with ice cream, says John. He probably puts it on his cornflakes. And coaches are like daddies, not sugar. This to all, just decided and be happy. Okay. Start, bench, sell. Sam Allardyce, Tony Pulis or Neil Warnock. That's the Beast. That's worse than some of the horrible stuff people want to do to themselves. I just don't like any of those coaches as football coaches. So for me, it's personality now. So I'll sell Pulis, I'll bench Warnock, and I'll start Allardyce. But I couldn't stand being the CEO of any of those three. Gems says that Bailey's cheesecake is nice as well. But has it got alcohol in it, Gems, or is it just the taste of Bailey's? Because I like the fact that the Bailey's has got alcohol in it when I put it in the coffee. Would you rather wear clothes 2 sizes too big or clothes 2 sizes too small, says Chris. Oh, my God. I really just wouldn't wear those clothes. I'm not doing it. Start, bench, sell. I've done that one. Okay, so Odegaard and Bruno is kicking off there. Rather, Breezy has just gone filth and said, would you rather get sodomized by Hagrid from Harry Potter or Voldemort? Well, obviously, I'm not going... If I say I would rather have Hagrid, that's just going to get clipped up and make it sound like I'd be interested. I wouldn't want either. It doesn't matter. The point of this is, Breezy, that I don't want to get sodomized by anybody. So I'm not going to go, oh, actually, with Voldemort, it might actually be quite okay. I don't want it. It doesn't matter whether it's Hagrid or Voldemort, or it's bloody Mr. Blobby or the Grinch. I don't want it. I'm not picking. So end of the day, no. Having said that, we do live in a diverse world. There's probably people in the chat who are saying, I'd fancy a bit of that Hagrid. Imagine how big he is. But look, that's just not the way I roll. Nothing against it. If you do, as they say, rubber up and be safe. I can confirm I make it with real Baileys, says Gems. I'm coming round for the cheesecake, which isn't a euphemism for Gems. It's just the cheesecake. Would you rather fall off the Eiffel Tower or fall off the Empire State Building, says Addy. Well, unless I've got a bloody parachute, I'm dying either way. There's no choice. You got to give it a choice. Would rather never had Ronaldo or Rooney, says Liam. Oh, that is going to get clipped. Liam has done a super chat for this, and it's brilliant. Would I rather never have had Ronaldo or never have had Rooney at Manchester United? This is one of the toughest questions and best questions I've ever had. So would I rather never have had Ronaldo or never have had Rooney? Well, remember, Ronaldo wasn't at United for as long as Rooney. Fucking hell, that's a tough question. I want to say Rooney because he was there longer. But then I look at the season that we won the Champions League. You wouldn't have done it without Ronaldo. You probably wouldn't have done it with Rooney. And also, I mean, that's mission impossible. That is mission impossible. Look, Ronaldo is the best player to play in the world with Messi. So you're asking me to never have the best player in the world playing at Man United. So I'd have to go. I'd rather Rooney not play than Ronaldo, even though some will go mad. Chris Smalling or Ashley Young? Definitely Smalling, Merker. Who's your favourite post for Sir Alex Ferguson player, says Neve. Start, bench, sell, England, Portugal or France. Well, I'm going to start England because I'm English, Welsh, London. I will sell France and I will bench Portugal. My favourite signing since Sir Alex Ferguson would have to be... I still can't get past would you rather get sodomised by Hagrid or Voldemort. I'm not watching Harry Potter anymore. You've ruined it. Just bloody ruined it. And Hagrid's in it right at the start. I'll just be... No, I'm not interested in that anymore. Right. I think Bruno. Bruno for me. Yeah, definitely Bruno. Yes. Let's have a look at the halftime stats in this game of football that we're watching. Newcastle are leading 1-0 here. What a show. What a show. That's football. Welcome to it. Always an incredible show. Absolutely incredible. Speechless, in fact. Even I'm speechless. I can't speak. So let's have a quick look at halftime. 76% possession for Chelsea. 1 shot on target. And I think if ever there is a picture that shows you what Chelsea are all about over the last 18 months, and you can clip this. If you want to know what Chelsea's problem is over the last 18 months under Todd Bowley, it's this. Game after game after game after game, high possession, no goals. £1 billion spent, and they didn't buy a decent striker. And that's Chelsea's problem. And the day they buy a decent striker, they'll become a good team. I don't know who their CEO is. I don't know who the director of football is. But it's shameful that you can spend that amount of money and not bring in a top striker. I've seen Chelsea a few times this season dominate possession and have next to no shots on target. It's just not good enough. Newcastle have had 24% possession, 1 shot on target, they've scored. 76% possession for Chelsea, 1 shot on target. It ain't good enough. And it happens every week, and Chelsea fans will tell you that. Every bloody week. How do you think England will do in the Euros, says Spencer? I think they've got to win the Euros. And Gems has just gifted 5 memberships. You're a legend, Gems. And Kyle Smith, thank you very much, says, Mark, which was the better album, Be Here Now or Standing on the Hot Shoulders of Giants? I actually like Be Here Now. Yeah, I do. I quite like that. I'm just catching up on the super chats here. Any good work Christmas party stories, Mark? Says Jack. Oh, loads. So not many I can tell in here. Mark, would you rather come on to take a legitimate penalty in a Man United FA Cup final penalty shootout or accept a coaching job with a championship club? I'd rather take a legitimate penalty. I'll take that every day of the week. Best Chelsea lineup, says Nick. Get a striker. Premier League managers as shopkeeper, restaurant owners, says Dave. I think they'd all do a great job. Do a poll, Mark. Who spent worst billion, Chelsea or United, says Daniel. Well, I think you've got to say Chelsea because they haven't bought. At least Man United have tried to buy people in certain positions. They've just bought badly. Chelsea not buying a striker is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's like buying a Ferrari without a steering wheel. It's completely useless. There's just, where are you going to go? There's no direction. I can't believe it. And the fact that Victor Osimhen has been available for the last 18 months, yes, he's going to cost a lot of money, but last time I checked, so did Casido, so did Enzo Fernandez. It really is incredible. And Nkunku's not a striker, Tony. He's not a striker. He may well be your solution, but he's not an out-and-out striker. He's more of a 10. He's more of an attacking midfielder. The Superfly says, would you rather miss a sitter in the 90th minute in the World Cup final or get sent off in the first minute of the Champions League final for United? I'd rather miss a sitter because it's a World Cup as well, so it doesn't impact Man United either way. I could blame it on Southgate then. I haven't missed loads of super chats at all yet, but I've read them all because I've got a section now which has got viewer activity on it, and I've just read them all. So I haven't missed super chats at all. Thank you very much. Don't start lying. Would you rather be a Leeds fan or a Liverpool fan? Again, this is very much like, would you rather get sodomised by Hagrid or Voldemort? I'm not choosing because I don't have to choose because I wouldn't choose it. Do your 8-player thing, says Dan. Okay, so Odegaard beat Bruno 56% to 44%. We're going to do best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment. I've set the quarterfinals and you are going to vote. Renate says, please give a like. I would say also please subscribe. We've got a great community here. Kieran says, if you could relive one season all over again, which would it be and why? And what game would you want to relive and why? Bayern Munich, Man United, Nou Camp 99. I'd love to relive that. The most emotional game I've ever watched. And I would relive that season again. It's too easy as a United fan. 99. The best thing is when you get these young hipsters saying, I'd relive 99. And you go, what? From your mum's chuff? You weren't even alive. You talk like you lived it. You didn't. It's an age thing. You can't redo it. Right, we're going to start off. Best centre-back. Some people are throwing names around already. No point, because we're going to do our first quarter-final. Best centre-back in the Prem is the title. And our first two centre-backs are going to be Van Dijk. Not Van Disney. I'm not doing that. I'm not being disrespectful. Van Dijk or Thiago Silva. Who is the better centre-back? Start the poll. This is the first quarter-final. Harry Maguire's not made it into the 8. To be honest, I'll be surprised if Van Dijk wins, because is he not now the new Alphonso Davies, where he lives off reputation? Is Van Dijk as good as he was before the injury, or is he now living off reputation? Just posing the question. I don't know that. I personally don't think Van Dijk is the best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment. I think he's very good. I think he might win this poll, but how much of it is based upon he wasn't that good last year? Is he as good as he was? Anyway, Van Dijk beats Silva. Easy. Right, let's do the next one. Our next quarter-final for best centre-back in the Prem is going to be Varane. Brilliant in the last two games. World-class centre-back against John Stones. Rafael Varane or John Stones. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Of course, please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. In fact, I've got a bit of news for you, actually, just while we're waiting on that. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, support the channel. That's football. We're growing together, the voice of football as a community. Daily content on here as well as watch-alongs, so get involved. But the podcast, which we started in August, Goldbridge Saves Football, is doing very well, thanks to everybody who supports it. You can check it out through the pinned live chat link. If you've never listened to the podcast before, you're in for a treat. I think you'll really like it. Listen to it in the bath, on a walk, on the bus, in the car. It's a hidden gem. It's great. A lot of people have been saying, why don't you release the visual of the podcast? In 2024, we will have visual podcast in a very, very nice surrounding. What we'll probably do is load clips up from the podcast, but the full episode, we are considering putting up the full episode on the members section of this channel in 2024. So keep an eye out for that, because we don't really want to put the whole video up publicly, because then people might not listen to the full podcast audio wise. But for people who want it, we're probably going to pop it on the members section. Bowler, Derek, thank you very much. Varane has beating John Stones 54% to 46%. He goes into the semi-final. He beats John Stones. Varane is better than Stones. He's into the quarterfinal. He's into the semi-final. And next quarterfinal for best centre-back in the Premier League. I think this... Well, I'm not going to say anything. Saliba against Romero. Matt Ross says, you're in a hot air balloon going down. 2 parachutes are left and 3 people. Other 2 are Kevin Friend and Ricky. What's the conversation? So let me read that back. You're in a hot air balloon going down. 2 parachutes and 3 people. Other 2 are Kevin Friend and Ricky. What's the conversation? I think me and Ricky are saying to Kevin Friend, do you want to jump or stay in the basket? Because you're not getting a parachute. Simple as that. Saliba has got 83% of the vote here. So there's not a lot to say about that. I think Romero, we were struggling with a little bit. Double substitution for Newcastle at half-time. Dan Burn and Trippier coming on. Gucci says you have to quantum leap into one of the following during a Premier League game. The ref, linesman, or a player. With your skill, which one? Gucci, that sounds like I'm having sex with the linesman, the referee, or a player. I think what you mean is I'm going to become one of them. I'd be the player. I'd never want to be the referee or the linesman. Final quarter-final is going to be, as best centre-back in the league, Diaz or Botman. Braithwaite versus Colwill, says Sultan. I have not watched enough. I've seen a lot of Colwill and I like Colwill. I haven't seen enough of Everton to really do that fair. I've got to be honest. So I'd rely on the chat. Would you rather live on a remote island or live in Anfield? I would be fine on a remote island, thank you. I'd rather walk alone. And Shahin says we can say the same about Silva. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about. Diaz has 70% of the vote. I disagree with this. I disagree with this. I think Botman's better than Diaz. I don't rate Diaz. I think he's over. I think he is the Alphonso Davies of centre backs. I think he had 1-2 very, very good seasons, and I think for the last 2 seasons he's been coasting. I don't think he's that good. I think John Stones is better than Diaz. I've said this before. It might be a hot take. It might be controversial. He's a good centre-back, but I do not think Diaz is as good as people think. And also, watch him play for Portugal. I think he's bang average. Who the fuck is Botman, says Amanta. He's playing in the game we're doing a watch-along for. Playing centre-back for Newcastle. Anyway, Diaz has won comfortably. I'm not going to go against democracy. So, our first semi-final. Lima's talking about barbed wire around their member. Yeah, we're not doing that. And Burn or Botman for the weekend game, says Eugene. Botman. And Torres, Carlos, Conza, one of them deserves a mention. Yeah, but no one would vote for them, Dan. And I did think about them instead of Romero. You're right, but yeah. Just to let you know, there's been a couple of substitutions here at half-time. It's still 1-0 to Fulham in the Goodison Park quarter-final, by the way. That would be a real shock. Port Vale are going out. They're losing 3-0 to Middlesbrough. In the Chelsea-Newcastle game, which is the game that we're watching, Newcastle have made a couple of substitutions at half-time. Botman's gone off for Burn. That's obviously premeditated. And Trippier's come on as well. I think that was premeditated that they could only play 45 minutes. So I think Burn, Botman and Trippier were only capable of doing 45 minutes today. So that's just clever use of his squad by Eddie Howe yet again. Mark, did you hear rumours on Mirror saying that Man United told to get former Liverpool player Xabi Alonso instead of Potter? Yeah, but Seth, I don't think he'll come. I don't think he'll come because he played for Liverpool. Shaya says, if you had money to buy a smaller club from the lower leagues, which would you buy to make it big? I'd probably go for something local just to stop the travel. Just to help out with travelling, yeah. Because I'd want to be very involved, so I'd go for something local. Depends. I mean, Birmingham City's just been bought, hasn't it? Can't buy Villa. So, I mean, Solihull Moors is National League. Would you want to go that low? The timer's wrong because I haven't done the timer. Thank you for letting me know. We are at 48:31. Actually, you know what? This time next week, I will be doing a watch-along on the United stand for Villa against Man United. It's Boxing Day, isn't it? A week today. You're not wrong. Thank you for letting me know about the timer, by the way. Right, let's do this first semi-final. Van Dijk, Varane. This won't be as close as it should be. You don't play almost every game, keep a clean sheet away to Madrid and Bayern and win the treble by being worse than Botman. I respect your opinion though, says Hessen. Thank you, mate. King Cop says, who's going to win between Liverpool and Arsenal? Well, I don't have the definitive answer. All I have is an opinion. But I think it'll be a score draw. I think both teams are very evenly matched. I can just see a score draw. I'm not saying it's impossible for Arsenal or Liverpool to win the game, but I think it'll be a draw. I think it's a very damaging loss for either team. If Arsenal lose, then they've lost to Newcastle, they've lost to Villa, and they've lost to Liverpool away from home. And it's becoming a bit of a theme. If Liverpool lose, they're losing at home. So I think it's got score draw written all over it. Doesn't mean it will be, but in a way, that's not a bad result for everybody. But I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if the game gets decided by some shitty VAR decision as well. Do you think Lewis Dunk is underrated, Mark? Plays good for club and country, says Kind Killer. Yes, I do. I do think he's underrated. Van Dijk is winning with 57% of the vote. Not surprised. Not surprised, but Varane is a better overall centre-back than Van Dijk when you look at his career. This can only be recency bias. If you're comparing the two careers, there is no comparison. Varane is better than Van Dijk, in my opinion. But based on right here, right now, I've got to agree. It probably is Van Dijk. Based on this season, it has to be. Keep, bench, sell, Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard. I've never heard that one before, Queen. I've never heard that one before. sell Lampard, bench Gerrard, start Scholes. You know I'm going to say that. Chelsea fans will say something completely opposite, and so will Liverpool fans. The funny thing is, at the time, no one would have thought that would become such a big thing. They were good players, but I don't think everyone thought we were going to be talking about it for 20 years. So Van Dijk is into the final, which means our second semi-final is going to be, was it Saliba against Diaz? What's happening in this match? Chelsea on the attack, but again, one shot on target. Hamish says Diaz all day, any day. Dragon Army says Saliba's miles better than mid Diaz. Yet another says, no way are people voting Saliba over a treble winner. Yeah, but that's like saying you can't vote Saka over Foden because he's a treble winner. That's not a valid argument. In fact, that weakens your argument because you're trying to use the treble as a reason to pick people. You know, you wouldn't pick Jack Grealish over Salah because he's a treble winner. And Kunku's warming up. This could make the game interesting. Keep, bench, sell. Modric, Scholes or Pirlo? Well, I'll start Scholes. I'll bench Modric and I'll sell Pirlo. And Gracie says, where do you think Man United are going to finish? Thanks for all the super chats tonight, by the way. I think at the start of the season I put Man United 5th or 6th. And I think I would put Man United 6th or 7th at the moment. I can't keep this open even any longer. We've whizzed through this and we've not really had a close one. Saliba is 73% to Diaz. Now, I agree. I'm not a massive fan of Diaz, but I did think it would be closer than that. So, you know, Arsenal fans, there's your Christmas present. 73% have gone for Saliba over Diaz. This is because no one likes Man City as well. Who's going to vote for Man City? They haven't got enough fans. So we know what the final is going to be. Opinion on Scholes biting his daughter's toenails to scroll. It's got nothing to do with football, so I'm not really interested. And Esto says, start, bench, sell. Kaka, Ronaldinho, Neymar at their best. I would start Ronaldo. I would bench Kaka. And I would sell Neymar. Esto. Yeah, good one. Good one. Start, bench, sell. Bowen, Anthony Gordon or Richarlison, says Flores. Oh, shot just wide there from Jackson. Was it a big chance? Let's just have a look at this first. It's good play by Broha. Jackson. He's on the half turn. Yeah, he's just not clinical enough, is he? Flores says, start, bench, sell, Bowen, Anthony or Richarlison. Anthony Gordon or Richarlison. Sell Richarlison, bench Bowen, start Anthony Gordon. What's your favourite air-up flavour? I haven't had them all, Harold, but I do like... Hold on, Sterling. Good save by the keeper. Got down well there, Dubravka. Probably the peach one from what I've had so far. Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, Mark, says Chris. Oh, it's so boring. I'm not answering it, Chris. It's just... I don't want to do boring stuff. I respect them both. My preference is Ronaldo because I'm biased. Lovely ball. Cross comes in. Dubravka gets hold of it. The final. We've got to do the final. We've got to do the final. The final of best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment. You've got Van Dijk and you've got Saliba, which I think is probably the right final anyway, based on who is the best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment. FJO Gaming, I'll remember that either or. It's a good one. We'll do that in a minute. Oh, I tell you what, I've got to tell you this story. I've got to change the people in it because they'll know who I'm talking about. How do I do this without it making it obvious? I don't think I can without doing it obvious. You won't know who they are, but they might be watching and know who I'm talking about. Yeah. It's close between Saliba and Van Dijk. It's going to be controversial, this one. It's a good final. It's a good final going on. We've got a very good final going on. Would you rather have all your clothes covered in skunk smell or all your shoes filled with cow dung, says Bob. I mean, again, how does your mind work? Why can't we have, if you're at McDonald's, would you rather have a chocolate milkshake or a banana milkshake? You know, it's Christmas. Can we not just be a little bit more positive than smelling of shit or being sodomized? Jesus. Start bench sell, Kane, Shearer, Ian Wright. I would start Kane. I would bench Shearer and I would sell Wright, Dante. Start bench sell, Mourinho, Guardiola, Klopp. I would sell Mourinho. I would bench Guardiola and I would start Klopp. Just on style. Simple. The beast. Simple. Duma says, Seb plays for Liverpool or have lunch with Piers Morgan. Mate, I know this might not... Some people might not get this. Man United fan. My dream would be for my kids to play for Man United. But if they want to be professional footballers and they play for Liverpool, I'm fine with it. Because I would have played for Liverpool if I could have been a professional footballer. Maybe some people don't get that. Maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe I'm in the majority. I love football. And if I could have been a professional footballer and the only club I could play for was Liverpool, I'd play. And I think a lot of Liverpool fans, if they could play professional football, would probably play for Man United. Carragher was an Everton fan and he signed for Liverpool. John Terry was a Man United fan and he played for Chelsea. Like, the opportunity to play professional football, you get one life. I'm not going to be a Jadon Sancho and go stubborn. I mean, at the end of the day, you got one life to play professional football. Doesn't mean I can't score own goals for Liverpool. Doesn't mean I wouldn't stop them winning the league. But I'd play professional football. As fans, we're always going to be critical, but I've got a massive amount of respect for anybody who makes it as a pro. You know, I might not think they're good enough, but I have got a lot of respect for anyone. Mark, you're the new manager of United. You've got 300 million and can sell any player. Go. The list is big, Parker. It's bigger than Seb's Christmas list. The fact that Thiago Silva played with players like Ronaldinho, Inzaghi and Seedorf and is still at the top of his game is unbelievable, says TJ. Thanks, TJ. Start, bench, sell. Sir Alex Ferguson, Sir Matt Busby, Atkinson. Well, I'm selling Atkinson. I'll bench Sir Matt and I'll start Sir Alex. Just based... Again, I can't judge people that I didn't know much about. Carl, I'm getting really tired now. I can't do any more start, bench, sells. You've burnt me out. I need to change my mind. This is my last one. I'm not going to do another one, so don't ask me because I've been doing this for nearly an hour and a half and it's start, bench, sells tiring. I need to change my mind onto some different conversation. Can we go back to Christmas presents or animal fights or something new? Start, bench, sell. Giggs, Scholes, Beckham, says Carl. Start Beckham, bench Scholes, sell Giggs. It's so close between Saliba and Van Dijk in our best centre-back in the Premier League at the moment tournament. Get your votes in. We've had nearly 5,000 already. Chelsea they've had 2 shots on target. Newcastle have had 1. We've got half an hour to go in this game. Hugh says, anyone choosing Saliba doesn't deserve a Christmas present. Oh, no, sorry, I've combined two comments there. No, Hugh says, anyone choosing Saliba doesn't understand football. And Adil says, pick 3 footballers, past or present, to have Christmas dinner with. Depends what sort of Christmas dinner you want. Do you want good conversation, or do you want people who are going to have a good time? I haven't played Fortnite really, Jack, since we did the stream. Esto says, are you still in the Whamageddon this year, says Sonic? I don't know what that is. Merry Christmas, Mark, says Anglo. I've been reminiscing about playing football with my muckers as a youth. Happy days, mate, says Anglo-Saxon. Lovely stuff. It's always a time to be reminiscent, Christmas, isn't it? Retro says, what's the biggest animal you could fight? I could fight a bloody giraffe. I mean, I do want to be serious here. A giraffe is massive, and I could fight a giraffe. How is a giraffe going to kill me? I'm not going to go behind it. I'm not stupid. So, hold on a minute. Chelsea. No, they've messed that up. Giraffes eat leaves. They're just tall with long legs. I could kill a giraffe. I don't want to. They look really friendly. When I went to the safari park, they were really friendly. They were sticking their head in the window. But that's what I mean. I don't think people realise what's going to happen. If it's me against a giraffe, I'm fighting one from a safari park, and when it sticks its nose in my car for something to eat, sweet chin music. Out. Any Chelsea player you would want at United, says Nick. Well, I'd take Enzo Fernandez or Casido because our midfield shit, definitely. I wouldn't take any strikers. How's the game been, says Reese? I mean, I'm grateful Newcastle scored because Chelsea don't look like they'll score before next Christmas. Esto says, did you know that the orca has the strongest bite in the animal kingdom based on bite marks and models? Just nobody ever managed to measure it. Wow. Wow. You wouldn't want a blowjob off an orca then, would you? What's the worst Christmas gift you've ever received, says Jamie. Kent, Proctor or McBellend, says Brian. Giraffes swing their necks to fight. It's a close fight, says Retro. And I'm getting loads of questions in. What is a classic Christmas song that you don't like? Little Drummer Boy. Not a massive fan of that. You know, the one with Bowie. You get a New Year's Eve DJ gig. What are you starting your set with, says Ben. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting really tired. I'm almost like, let's watch the match a little bit because I'm getting overload of questions here. You know, I don't know whether it's just me tired or not. Overload. What set am I going to start with? Dancing Queen, Ben. Yannick says, I just finished watching Goldbridge's stand-up. Hilarious. Also, the morning show today was the best single show I've seen this year. Yannick, bloody hell. What was so good about the morning show? Check out the podcast then, if you're easily pleased. James says, a giraffe will chop you with its neck. Lights out. No, it won't, James. Definitely won't. You underestimate me. You underestimate me. What's the worst Christmas present you ever got? An Ollie Murs album. Threw it straight in the bin. Wouldn't fit down the toilet. I basically put it in the toilet. I did a big shit on it, but when I flushed it, it just got lodged. So I had to pick it out with rubber gloves, put it in the bin. People are saying stop the poll because it's getting close. We're not stopping the poll at 51%, 59%. I'll stop the poll. Here's Conor Gallagher, shoots wide. Would you punch Rudolph? Says Rob. I wouldn't. I hypothetically would punch Rudolph, but I wouldn't really punch him. I suppose if you did, it wouldn't make any difference because he's already got a red nose. You could deny it. Imagine Rudolph going to the RSPCA and saying, Goldbridge has punched me. Where did he punch you? On the nose. Unlucky. You've got a red nose already. Let's go to court. Prove it. Everton have scored, by the way. 1-1. What's your opinion on Antonio Valencia, says Mr. Bugs. Decent player. Decent player. Seriously, though, worst Christmas present I ever had. What's the worst Christmas present you've ever had? Let's make it fair. Nkunku's on for Chelsea. Let's see what he can do. 23 minutes here. Straight to penalties if it's a draw. I'd love... You know what? This game's not been as good as it should have been. I'd love to see penalties. Rudolph the Red has said, I've reported you to the RSPCA. Mate, swivel on it. You should be thinking about delivering presents. What's better, Rudolph or Amazon? I'm voting Amazon. Start, bench, sell, Mbappe. I've told you no, Bob. I'm not I warned you, I'm not doing them anymore. I don't want to do start, bench or sell anymore. This is the last one. I'm not doing another one. Mbappe, Haaland, Callum Wilson. Well, I'm selling Callum Wilson. I'm benching Haaland and I'm starting Mbappe. That was easy, Bob. Thank you. Kangaroo or an ape? What am I doing with it, Grim? Christmas dinner? Hi, Mark. Do you know when the Manchester live show video will be up on the United Stand channel? Happy Christmas. Tomorrow, Fennec. Part 1's going up tomorrow for the members. Tomorrow, the Christmas show on the United Stand. No, the worst Christmas present I ever had. And I'd like some of you to get your comments in here as well. But Nkunku's on, number 18, for Nicholas Jackson. So he's gone up front. This is going to be very interesting. I think some Chelsea fans think Nkunku is going to be the answer as a striker. I'm concerned about it. I really like Nkunku. I really like Nkunku. He was recommended to us by Ralf Rangnick, obviously, from Leipzig. And... but we were never buying him as a striker. We would have been buying him as a 10, a false 9, whatever you want to call it. He could also play off the wide. But he did have a few months at Leipzig where he played up front. And he can score goals. But I don't think he's going to be your answer as a striker. I see him more as a creative, really. But good player. I think I'm going to have to give this to Saliba, by the way. He's led all the way. Best centre-back in the Prem. We've had 7,200 votes. He's got 51% against Van Dijk. It's been the reason I've left it so long is because it's, probably surprised me a little bit as well how much it was. Saliba at one point had 54% of the vote. So I'm going to count this down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5... 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's give it a refresh. So we've had 7,500 votes. Oh my God. It went 50-50 and then it's gone back to 51%. Right. I think I can... For a second there, it went 50-50. But it's now gone back to 51%. So I think it's safe to say that we can close the poll and Saliba has beaten Van Dijk 51% to 49%. Referee has just booked Raheem Sterling for diving, I think. About bloody time. I just want to see in the chat. Here we go. It was very close because Saliba had 50% and Van Dijk had 49%, which meant it was very, very close. What do you think about the charm of penalty shooting and what is the craziest you have seen? Havard. Craziest penalty I've ever seen? Probably that Arsenal one. You know the one where was it the one where Henry and Perez passed it? Joel Webber says the Nkunku era starts now. Yeah, I must admit, I've got my eyes more on the game now than I have had, because I'm a fan of Nkunku and I do want to see how he does at Chelsea. He's on the ball at the moment. Hi Mark, have you heard about Cornet the brown-nosed reindeer? He's just as fast as Rudolph, just not as good at stopping. Merry Christmas, mate. Comet. Not Cornet, Blakey. Thank you very much. I ruined that, didn't I? Brian Gallagher says Nkunku will only work in a two-striker system. NDP JSH, I can't read that, says, what are your top 4 predictions? Same as what the top 4 is at the moment. I think they're the impenetrable 4 at the moment. Start, bench, sell, Vinny, Salah, Goldbridge. I can't deal with those 2, so I'll sell myself. Bench Vinny and start Salah. Mark, where's that beautiful Zidane Madrid shirt, says Quee. I need to get it from my agent who took the bag off me in London and was meant to give it me last week in Manchester and didn't bring it back. Newcastle on the break. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we're getting close to 77,000. And remember, we've got Liverpool-West Ham tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. The show's been fantastic tonight. I've really enjoyed it. I don't know whether it's the Christmas vibe, but people have really been getting into it. Bob says, can you wish happy birthday to my mate Bevo? He's just turned 23 and he's looking forward to some roast potatoes on Christmas Day. There we go. I think we all are. We're all looking forward to it. My eldest daughter said to me today, I can't wait for Christmas. The thing I'm looking forward to most of all is the Christmas dinner. And I thought, God, you're boring. You know, you should not be looking forward to Christmas dinner as a child. Which animal, although I'm looking forward to it. Which animal do you think wins leopard versus mountain lion? Nigel. I think leopards are quite strong, you know. Oh, everyone's laughing out about Bevo. I don't know who this, I didn't get it, but I know who you mean now. This is the kid who I've seen a couple of clips of where he swallows. I think he's got a girlfriend, hasn't he? There might be a lot of jealous men out there, but I don't think he swallows that. That's definitely getting clipped. But this Bevo guy, he swallows things whole, like roast potatoes. I saw him eating a roast potato the other day. He literally chewed it twice and then swallowed it. I mean, he's a choke hazard. He's more of a choke hazard than bottle tops. He swallows chips whole. I saw him eating a curry and rice was coming out of his nose. He's defying medical logic here, but yeah, he's not a very good advert for chewing your food. You need to chew your food, by the way. Don't be Bevo. He's obviously got a talent. It's a bit like that woman in Benidorm who could shove a table up a chuff. I think she died recently, actually. What was her name? That woman from Benidorm. She had anyone who went Benidorm seen it. Her act was shoving stuff up her chuff. Literally, she could shove a fucking table up there. But she died. Not from that, but Sticky Vicky, that was it. There we go. Everyone knows about Sticky Vicky. She's been known about for years. I've never been to Benidorm, and I know about that. She died of old age, but she could shove anything up there. Double-decker bus. Ollie Mers. Apparently he was up for it. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that Bevo obviously has a talent. Don't copy it for 2 reasons. 1, you could choke. You should chew your food. And 2, if you don't chew your food, you'll very much notice it when you go for a number 2. it will be very compacted and cloggy if you don't chew your food. When I had my retainers in to fix my teeth 18 months ago, my teeth were really hurting because they were moving, so I found it hard to chew my food. And I know you know when you stick a load of plasticine together, it ain't smooth. Apparently Sticky Vicky got hit by a bus, says Donor. You sure she got hit by a bus, or was she trying to... I mean, to be honest, if she knew the bus was coming towards her, all she needs to do is open the leg. She'd swallow it. I've got an either or for you. It came in from FJO Gaming in the first half. This has been a variety show tonight. This should be on bloody Netflix. Parkinson passed away this year. Loved it, but I think there's a show in this. Diaby against Kudos. Diaby of Villa against Kudos of West Ham. Sterling and Disasi have come off, and Mudryk and Matson with 13 minutes to go. It's incredible. It's incredible how many times I watch Chelsea and they can't score. So that's a good either or for you. I mean, look, I get... I'm not even a Chelsea fan, and I get tired of saying... this is just normal. It must be so frustrating if you're a Chelsea fan to watch this week in, week out. Defensively, you've cost yourself a goal, but conceding a goal is normal in a game of football. But Chelsea are not a bad footballing side. They just can't create chances. And it's been going on for over a year. Potter's team was like this. You know, they'd have 20... Well, they just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Oh, I've just seen that... Mary Earps has just won Sports Personality of the Year. Is that controversial? Is it deserved? I mean, I used to watch Sports Personality of the Year years ago. I used to love watching Sports Personality of the Year. I'm just not interested anymore. Have you read this quote from Sergio Aguero? Has he got on the mulled wine too early? Listen to this. Sergio Aguero has revealed that he thinks that Man United are a big threat to Man City's title hopes this season. You can never sleep on Man United at this stage of the season. They are one of the biggest threats to Man City's Premier League title. He must be pissed. Combined current Premier League starting 11 to face a combined European league, says Harry B. Yeah, Harry, thank you very much for your super chat, but you've just asked me to do about half an hour worth of content, and I'm not doing it. I'll take a note of that for the podcast. I think it's a very good idea for the podcast, Harry, but I can't do that now. Combined Premier League 11 against the combined European 11 on a watch-along. Yeah. That's like asking me to read a book in 30 seconds. Never going to do it. Do you think Poch will be Chelsea manager next season, says Shahin? Well, the problem Chelsea have got here, and I wanted to leave it until the end because I don't know that they're going to score. The problem that Chelsea have got here is that they're out of the Carabao Cup. They're nowhere near Harry B's happy with the podcast. We'll definitely do it on the podcast, Harry. Great point. Everton Fulham's gone to penalties, by the way. Is it on the telly? I don't think it's on the telly. No. The problem that you've got with Reza says he's taking the mic. The problem that you've got, it's very close between Kudos and Diaby, by the way. So well done to that FJO Gaming for putting that forward. We always love an either or that's close. Problem Chelsea have got is they're nowhere near European football in league form. If they go out the Carabao Cup, that's another opportunity to qualify for Europe gone, which leaves the FA Cup. So this next 10 minutes for Chelsea are massive. Great White versus an Orca. Who wins, says Charlie? Well, I factually know who wins this, Charlie. You know, I actually know who wins between a Great White and an Orca, because Great Whites consistently get beat by Orca. Consistently. A Great White against an Orca would be like Man City playing Luton. They might get a miracle every now and again, but an Orca will be a Great White. Either or from Bob says, have a night with Sticky Vicky or Bevo. Depends what we're doing. You know, if we're playing hide and seek, Sticky Vicky. If we're going out to eat, Bevo. What do you think of Michael Owen's bravery throwing apples, says Brad. Oh, he's just a prat, isn't he? No, an orca on its own would beat a great white shark. Yeah, it would. Definitely would. Look, I've Googled it as well. Listen to this. Not my words. The words of A to Z of Animals, Epic Battles. Oh, this is the website. We need this tomorrow night. A killer whale would win a fight against the largest great white ever. The only case in which an orca could potentially be killed by a great white is if the largest great white took on the smallest orca. And even then, it would be a bit of a size disadvantage. Although the great white shark has a fearsome reputation, in a straight fight it would be outclassed by the orca. Not only are orcas much bigger, they are also smarter. Great whites are now known to be warm-blooded, but orcas still have much higher metabolic rates because they breathe air. You know, not my words, the words of BBC Science Focus. Not only would an orca win, it would outclass an orca, a great white shark. This is not just this is not like Arsenal against Liverpool on Saturday. You know, Liverpool might win. This is literally Arsenal at home to Dagenham and Redbridge. They're going to outclass them here. It's going to toy with the great white. Who wins an insertion, Bevo or Sticky Vicky, says Bob. What happened to Driving with Goldbridge, says Andrew? They all need to come back. Cooking with Goldbridge, Driving with Goldbridge. There's loads of content parked. It's just the time to do it at the moment. What? Can I ask a serious question? What is the obsession with Bevo? Is he what does he actually do that makes loads of people watch him? I thought it was swallowing food whole, but I don't know. Who wins? I've done that one. Yellow card here. Someone got pushed to the ground. Anything new about the game, says Alec? No. Apart from there's 4 minutes to go. It's 50-50 between Kudus and Diaby here. Great poll here. Must be very proud when you recommend a poll and then it ends up being 50-50. It's almost like getting an A in your A-levels, scoring a hat-trick in a proper game. It's vindication that you get a 50-50 poll on That's Football. You know, you almost should get a prize. Oh my God, you've got to say that defending there by Livramento is incredible. The cross comes in, he can't let it go behind him. He can't really do anything, so he heads it back across his goal and out for a goal kick. That is brilliant defending by Livramento. I think he's a cracking player. It's more like Man City against Brighton, says Moses. Actually, Mark. Aaron Wan-Bissaka versus Trippier versus Walker, says Finn. We'll tell you what, we're nearly done here. We're nearly done. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This would be a bloodbath. Gallagher goes into the box. Liveramento's the guy. Surely that was a foul on him. He gets back up. No, got the ball. No way. Got the ball. Good decision by the ref. There is no VAR either. No way is that a foul. Conor Gallagher in the box. Watch this. Oh, I don't know. Let's have a look. I thought he got the ball first time. No, he dives. He definitely dives. Kicks his foot out. Watch his foot. Simulation. It's not a penalty. There's no VAR. So... I'll tell you what, I'm just tweeting it there, actually. I'm going to share it with you. I don't know whether you think this. I think the referees had a good game. I think the referees had a good game. And do you think there's any correlation between no VAR and the referee having a good game? I think the referees had a good game. I think it's been a much better game. Anyway, I was talking about a bloodbath. Kangaroo against the gorilla. I'm just reading about it there. Bloodbath. Finn, I'm not doing another poll because the Diaby Kudos one isn't open. You need to understand the rules. I've played the game. Don't forget, you can download the OneFootball app for free, by the way. Links in the description, or scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. Get all the latest breaking football news and transfer news. Chelsea. Oh! He scored! What a mistake! We're going to get a penalty shootout! What a mistake! What a mistake! Oh, my God! Chelsea have just equalised. And it's Mudryk. He's been gifted a goal again. What's happened to Trippier? Trippier, oh my God. He has come on as a substitute. He has been an amazing player for Newcastle. And he's just bottled this game with 2 minutes to go. What's wrong with him at the moment? The cross comes in. Nothing's going on. He's tried to head it back to the keeper and he's actually headed it into the path of Mudryk, who taps it into the bottom corner. And we're going to go to a penalty shootout here. Unless Chelsea win it late on. I mean, look, maybe that's the only way Chelsea are going to score these days. It's an assist by Trippier. It's a good finish by Mudryk. Puts it in the bottom corner. Did very, very calm. He's making a lot of mistakes at the moment, Trippier, isn't he? Coral says, hi, Mark. I'm recovering from being in a car accident where I lost a very close friend. Whenever I'm down, I watch your Rage compilation for a laugh. Thanks. Curry, sorry to hear that. And I hope you're doing well, mate. Obviously, it's a horrible loss and a horrible incident. And I'm glad you can find some you know, I can't think of the word, solace in the streams. And thank you very much for sharing the message. And I hope you're doing well. Right, well, looks like we're going to a penalty shootout here. This is great for the neutrals, says Sri. Yeah, I think it's been that sort of a game where a penalty shootout just gives us something, doesn't it? Chelsea haven't won. We're going towards a penalty shootout here. Unless we get a late winner, there's still probably about a minute or two to go. Newcastle have barely had a chance in the whole game. Yellow card for Conor Gallagher. Dubravka. Do you think they'll stick with Dubravka? I still find it incredible that you've got someone like David De Gea on, and there's a new Chelsea fan who ran on the pitch there and went into Dubravka. I mean, I don't like that sort of thing because you should not be doing that. Mark, thoughts on most improved team and worst? Well, it's Villa, Pilal. And worst team this season for expectation is probably Chelsea, isn't it? And Man United haven't been great either, but Chelsea are lower in the league, so... Mudryk has just grabbed Bruno Guimaraes round the neck. You can't do that, mate. You can't do that. Matson's down as well. It's all got a bit tasty here. Odds on Nkunku missing his penalty mark, says Bob. Well, there's no VAR here, mate, so rolling around on the floor is not going to get you a foul. And I don't know why he's holding his face. Never touched his face. What's he fucking holding his face for? Start, bench, sell, cooking with Goldbridge, driving with Goldbridge, L shopping with Goldbridge, says Jay. I think Mudryk is... I think they're both a little bit lucky here, but I think Mudryk is lucky because he could have got a sent off for that, grabbing him round the neck. Bruno Guimaraes would miss the semi-final. Referee needs to blow this up and take it to penalties. Mudryk got a yellow as well. Right, it's about to get interesting here. And there is the whistle. And it's a penalty shootout. The most exciting part of this game is going to be a penalty shootout. It's tasty, says Lee. There is a bit of taste out there. Bruno Guimaraes is a very dirty player, Harry. He could have had a... Dirty Harry. He could have had a few this year. So Bob's saying, what are the odds on Nkunku missing? Start, bench, sell, cooking with Goldbridge, drying with Goldbridge, shopping with Goldbridge. Well, sell shopping with Goldbridge. I will bench cooking with Goldbridge, and I'll start driving with Goldbridge out of enjoyment. But I don't know why the Chelsea player went down clutching his face, because there was no contact with his face. So a bit of a dive there. I can't believe Everton Fulham's still going penalties. It seems ages ago that someone said it was going. Who do we think is going to win on penalties? Diaby's beaten Kudos in the best poll of the night. 51% to Diaby, 49% to Kudos in an either or. Well done to Diaby. Let's do a quick poll on who's going to win penalties. Who'll beat who wins on penalties? That is all. Chelsea, Newcastle. Get your votes in. Trippier's mistake. Well, you know what? Let's be absolutely fair here. Let's be absolutely fair. If we're going to have a pop at Trippier, Badashil made the same mistake. So it's 2 defensive mistakes. 1-1, penalty shootout. It's probably fair, isn't it, at the end of the day? Fulham have beaten Everton on penalties. I mean, that's a shock. Fulham go through. Everton go out. They'll be disappointed with that. The most form team in the league. Who do I think is going to win on penalties? It's tough because I don't really know much about the goalkeepers. I'd say Dubravka's the better goalkeeper on penalties. Kamara sent off, same as Mudryk. No consistency, says Dan. Yeah, no consistency. We deserve the penalty, says Jamie. We do. As the community, we deserve the penalties. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner, just while we're waiting for these to start. We're only 100 subscribers away from 77,000, so please click that button in the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe. We have daily content on That's Football, and we're back tomorrow night with Liverpool against West Ham to complete the quarterfinal lineup. And as an exclusive for you, the trailer hasn't even dropped yet. But we've got a very, very, very exciting bit of Christmas content coming up for you. Episode 1 on Friday, the second part and final on Christmas Eve on Sunday. Think traditional Christmas. Think of challenges. Think of variety shows. We have got a YouTuber Armageddon with a football challenge on Friday with a classic football game of Wembley or knockout or whatever you want to call it. Goldbridge is the goalkeeper and he's the referee, with 10 YouTubers playing to win the inaugural That's Football Wembley Cup. Episode 1 is coming out on Friday. It's going to be a Christmas cracker for you to watch on Friday, and then the final will be on Sunday. And if you don't know what Wembley is or World Cup, you don't deserve to like football. This is the game we should all play, and it's coming out on Friday. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. That's going to be a cracker. But this is the penalty shootout. We're ready to go. That's how I injured my finger. Bruce Willis has got nothing on me. I may as well have been wearing a dirty vest. The pain I had to go through to complete that. Got VAR and everything. But we didn't have VAR in this. Who do I think is going to win this penalty shootout? I don't want to be sitting on the fence. I'm going to say Newcastle win the penalty shootout. Mark, will you ever do golfing with Goldbridge? I'm happy to do golfing with Goldbridge. It'll be hilariously shit. I don't think I'll be able to hit the ball. Anana apparently missed a penalty for Everton. Thank God Jackson got subbed off, says Flopper. I don't think that Chelsea got jammy, Uranus. Jam and Uranus. That's probably getting someone excited there. Look, trust me, people will do all sorts. Somebody will have done that. Let's just leave it at that. I've jinxed it for Newcastle. Who would I rather win? I don't know. NFFC says, opinion on Cooper's sacking. I'm gutted and not very inspired by Nuno. We discussed this earlier on, mate. We did a poll on it. 70% said that they shouldn't have sacked Cooper. My opinion on it is that you shouldn't be sacking... I don't know what that owner of Forest is doing, but you shouldn't be sacking a manager when the fans don't want it. You should only sack a manager when the fans turn on a manager, and that clearly hasn't happened. So I imagine it's probably quite a horrible feeling for those who wanted Cooper to stay. My biggest issue with it is Nuno's boring. He's a really boring coach. So at least if you're going to sack Cooper, bring someone exciting in like Bournemouth did. Anyway, first penalty. Cole Palmer, he'll score. Dubravka, and he does. It's a lovely penalty. He's very confident. He's very good at penalties, and he's telling the Newcastle fans to be quiet. He's going to miss. He's not going to miss that. Very good penalty. I tell you what, high pressure here. High pressure. Place in a semi-final. Everton are out. Middlesbrough through. So, you know, Fulham and Middlesbrough, you've got a great chance of winning this tournament if you can get through. Kevin Friend should be the ref, says Saucy. And Ryan Baxter, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. No, look, Callum Wilson up against Petrovic. Don't know much about Petrovic. I'd go Wilson here. I mean, it's luck of the draw. People who say they know what's going to happen. When are we going to get pottery with Goldbridge? You can be my Patrick Swayze, says Mitchell. Callum Wilson, he does look a little bit nervous, but you should be scoring this as the striker, and it's a very good penalty. Very good penalty. Both goalkeepers have got the right way, but both penalties from Wilson and Palmer have been very, very good. You don't save those. Ben Foster told me this. If you go high, very hard to save. The risk with going high is that you go too high, but very good penalty. They're not showing the replays of the penalty. This pisses me off. This happens a lot. This happens a lot. I don't know why they don't show the replays of penalties. Join me in that frustration, at least. Conor Gallagher. I nearly said Liam Gallagher. It's Conor Gallagher. Liam Gallagher. It's a good penalty as well. Again, look at that. He was obviously listening to Goldbridge. He's captain, Conor Gallagher. Captain Gallagher. And he's gone high. He's gone high. Very wobbly camera. I think this cameraman's been on the piss. Either that or he's sat on a trampoline. Great penalty again, says Fennick. 19,000 watching. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, we're doing Liverpool-West Ham tomorrow to complete the lineup. Liam Gallagher would roll with it. Well, Kieran Trippier. What chance he misses, considering it was his mistake that caused penalties. Is he going to get a double whammy? Could it be a spit roast for Trippier? Here he goes. Oh, he's missed. Yeah, it is a double whammy. It's a crap penalty. He may as well have Christmas off. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear. I think Trippier needs Christmas off. He needs a holiday. Enzo says we shouldn't have brought him on. Well, here's Nkunku. Somebody said what chance he misses. I think he's confident. I think this is the start of the Nkunku journey. He looks confident. He steps up and he hits an absolutely fantastic penalty. It's a shame we're not getting any replays because every Chelsea penalty has been really good, but that is an absolute banger by Nkunku. High again. They've obviously done their homework. You'd fancy Chelsea now. I'd say 80% chance Chelsea go through from here. 3 from 3. Bruno Gomes steps up. He needs to score this just to give him a chance. Moses says Trippier did it forever. Porch. Says Moses, don't get that. Anyway, Bruno Gomes here. Needs to score this to keep Newcastle alive. Good penalty. Bottom corner pass. Still believes. Passion. 20,000 watching. Thanks, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Mudryk. He'll be nervous. Oh, he'll be nervous. He'll be feeling the nerves. He really will. Newcastle need Chelsea to miss one of these next two. Mudryk. Bottom corner. Lovely penalty. Chelsea 1 penalty away from going through. Very important for... Well, it's very important for Newcastle as well, but very important for both these teams. It's not just a trophy, which would be good. It's also the opportunity to qualify for Europe. Trippier knows. He knows Newcastle need to score both of their last two and save the last one from Chelsea. Richie. I don't even know who this guy is. I don't recognise him. What a save. What a save by Petrovic. That's Chelsea going through. It's such a shame that we're not getting to see the replays. Such a shame. Absolutely. That was a great save by Petrovic. And it's such a shame. What a shambles not showing any... I'm going to have to tweet this. What an absolute shambles. That's just... I know I'm going to come across as like a miserable bastard at Christmas, but I do despair at the money we pay to watch football in this country, and we can't even have a fucking replay on any of the penalties. It's disgusting. Why? He's just made a great save, and we've, I just can't get it. There's so many good penalties in that game. And that save looked brilliant, but unfortunately, here we go. Yeah, good save. Here it is. We got a replay on that. Yeah. It's a good save. 2 hands on it. Well, we didn't get replays on any of the other ones, but we did get one on that one. Very, very good save. Fantastic. That's shut me up, hasn't it? Trippier has tripped Newcastle up here then. He cost them a goal at the end. He missed the penalty that put the pressure on. For Newcastle, it will be disappointing. Out of the Cup, out of Europe. For Chelsea, well, it gives them a chance, doesn't it? Fulham, Middlesbrough. They'll fancy the chances, Chelsea. Great opportunity for them. What else was I going to say? Yeah, we're back tomorrow night. Liverpool against West Ham. Make sure you tune in. It's been a fantastic watch-along, by the way. Really appreciate everybody tuning in or chewing in. Not Bevo. He won't chew. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Liverpool-West Ham game. Hopefully that one is decent, like this one. Penalty shootout would be good again. And on your way out, please check out the podcast. I've left the link in the live chat. Not going for Goldbridge. Goldbridge Saves Football. Links in the live chat. New episode out today. Christmas show. It's worth listening to for what I would describe as the best ad integration you will ever hear between me and Will. And I'm not one for pushing ads, but it's just well worth listening to. That's Goldbridge Saves Football. Check it out on Spotify, iTunes. Links in the live chat. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. And thanks for joining me on this stream. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm exhausted, though. You've really got the brain working tonight, but it's been cracking. Speak to you later.